Stephanie Jenkins, once celebrated as a relatable, hardworking mom on TikTok, is now at the center of a growing scandal that's shaken the very foundation of her online persona. What looked like an inspiring story of a mother pushing through adversity has unraveled into a tangled mess of alleged deception, neglect, and exploitation, and the internet isn't staying quiet about it. It all started when a former housekeeper named Layla, who worked at the motel where Stephanie and her husband Drew were staying, came forward with a video that shocked thousands. She claimed that every time the Jenkins family was forced to switch rooms, due to a 28-day limit put in place by squatter laws, the mess they left behind was almost unimaginable. Layla described walking into rooms that were completely trashed, garbage piled up in corners, old food rotting on surfaces, stained furniture, broken fixtures, spills dried into the floor. According to her, it was like walking into a disaster zone every single time. This was especially jarring because Stephanie had built her entire TikTok brand around being clean and organized. She posted videos of herself scrubbing countertops, folding laundry, and tidying up as if keeping things spotless was second nature. But as Layla revealed, the only space Stephanie ever actually cleaned was the tiny frame visible in her videos, just enough to keep up the illusion. Everything else, off-camera, was chaos. What made this even more upsetting was Layla's claim that the room Stephanie and her family were living in wasn't just any motel room, it was one set aside for people with disabilities as part of a program run by an organization called Dogwood. These rooms were meant to support vulnerable individuals who truly needed help. But Stephanie and Drew, who are both able-bodied, were allegedly living there rent-free, despite Stephanie regularly telling her followers that she was struggling to pay expensive weekly motel rates.
Stephanie, I don't know if you have seen the viral video of that's been going around of the maid that cleans your motel room every 28 days. Clean that shit. Don't make her have to do it all. Clean it. And I don't know about, the allegations that are being put out there, or I just know I've seen the video of the maid, and I'm here to say, clean up after yourself. This isn't your house. This isn't your permanent residence. You have to leave. You have to leave every 28 days. Clean up after yourself. That is ridiculous. That somebody has to come on here and say that, they have to clean up after you, that it's a mess.
I'm 5 years old.
Okay, come on, man. Clean up after yourself.
No. It's a girl, not a boy.
You have 7 people living in a motel room. Do better. Clean up after yourself.
For a long time, many viewers questioned that story. Why would anyone pay those sky-high weekly rates when they could easily secure a much cheaper apartment? Layla's statement confirmed what a lot of people had suspected: the story didn't add up. And while the living conditions were disturbing enough, what followed pushed the situation into even darker territory. Stephanie posted a video featuring her eldest daughter narrating their morning routine.
Last time when I had my birthday, when I turned 10, my mom got me a realistic doll for my birthday. And she is pretty cute, but she wasn't really what we expected. So comment down below if you know how to get a realistic doll that's actually realistic. Her hair is not realistic at all. So today we're going to talk about that. And right now, since I'm doing a voiceover, I feel like that I'm some kind of reporter that reports news, if you know what I mean. And, well, I'm outside right now to do this voiceover, whatever. My mom really likes doing voiceovers, and she's gonna start letting the kids do the voiceovers. And I got picked to do one first. I am actually having no idea what to say, I'm just saying random things. I'm just saying that so you know, okay? I'm saying random things. Also, at the end of this video, you will see what I'm gonna say for the voiceover. I'm gonna say, dun 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 dun, girls' night.
At first, it seemed like harmless family content. But partway through, the little girl's tone changed. She looked into the camera and asked viewers where she could find a realistic doll, because she hadn't received one for her birthday. It was a quiet, heartbreaking moment that exposed something Stephanie hadn't intended to show. Her daughter wasn't just being featured in a video, she was reaching out to strangers, publicly, for something her mother failed to provide.
Thinking about the resilient Jenkins newest video where they let Addie, their 10-year-old daughter, narrate in the video, it's giving them showing the resilient Jenkins basically saying, well, Deshaun, I'm sorry, you can't be part of the videos because your mom X, Y, and Z. Like, why is that coming to my head? Why is that something that I'm thinking that Stephanie Jenkins is holding above Deshaun's head. Like, because of your mom, we can't put you in our videos, we can't have you narrate it, right? Like, also, why would you think it'd be okay to let your daughter do this narration when your comments, if you read through the comments on the Resilient Jenkins TikTok, they're almost all negative? Like, why would you let subject your daughter to that? It really is giving, I'm trying to make money, stay relevant, and I'm trying to just explore as many alleys and avenues as I can. Also, you lied. You lied. You lied. You lied. You were not SA'd. Your privacy was invaded, and liar. Stephanie Jenkins is a liar.
The backlash was swift. The comment section filled with grown adults hurling criticism, not just at Stephanie, but at the child. Some accused her of being manipulative, others compared her behavior to her mother's. It was brutal. What should have been a sweet, innocent moment turned into an avalanche of hate directed at a child who never asked to be put in that position in the first place. Stephanie's response? She brushed it off, saying her kids loved being involved and that the negativity was just people being miserable. There was no acknowledgement of the emotional harm done, no apology for exposing her daughter to such vitriol. It was a cold, calculated dismissal, and one that didn't sit right with anyone paying attention. This wasn't a one-time lapse in judgment either. Stephanie has a long history of using her children in ways that many now view as manipulative or exploitative. Whether it's filming their meltdowns, inserting them into adult drama, or having them perform for sympathy, the pattern is clear: her children are content before they are kids. And it's not just harmful, it's dangerous. As more followers start piecing everything together, from the staged cleanliness to the questionable housing situation, public opinion has flipped entirely. Stephanie Jenkins, once seen as a struggling but strong mother, is now viewed by many as someone who's built her entire platform on dishonesty. The internet is tired, and people are speaking out, loudly. The long overdue moment when Deshaun was finally granted court-ordered visitation with his biological mother, Desiree, should have been something sacred. After years of separation, emotional distance, and legal hurdles, Desiree was finally given a chance to reconnect with her son, privately, meaningfully. But instead of respecting the importance of that moment, Stephanie Jenkins did what she does best: she inserted herself right in the middle. Rather than giving mother and son the space they desperately needed, Stephanie made sure her daughters were brought along during the visit. It wasn't out of kindness, or to let them have a fun day at the park. It was strategic. With the girls present, Deshaun's focus was constantly divided. His attention shifted away from his mother, and the intimate bond they were supposed to rebuild was quietly sabotaged. Stephanie played it off as an innocent family outing, but the timing said everything. If this was truly about her daughters having a fun afternoon, she could have taken them out literally any other day. But she chose that day, that moment. The reality is, Stephanie didn't want Desiree to have an uninterrupted connection with her son. She used her daughters not just as bystanders but as quiet distractions, ensuring Deshaun couldn't fully immerse himself in the reunion. Whether they knew it or not, they were being used as tools, unknowing obstacles placed between a boy and the mother he barely remembered. It wasn't about fun, it was about control.
Jenkins from the Resilient Jenkins posted a video on his TikTok yesterday showing Deshaun and his mother Desiree playing together at a park along with his siblings. I think this is just great. Desiree and Deshaun have not seen each other in a few years, so the fact that they were reunited finally is amazing. What's crazy though is I've seen a lot of videos saying, why are the other kids at the visit? Like, it should just be Deshaun and his mother spending quality time, and oh, the kids are there because they are spying for Stephanie and blah blah blah. Like, look, I am not a fan of the Resilient Jenkins whatsoever, but we do need to understand it has been 3 years since Deshaun and his mother have seen each other. And that is a long time, especially for a child. Maybe Deshaun having his siblings there made it less awkward for him and made it more comfortable for him. Like, maybe Deshaun was like, I want my siblings to come with me. I mean, this family is living in a motel, so maybe the kids just wanted to get outside and play at the park. It could just be as simple as that. Regardless, I am so glad that Deshaun was able to reunite with his mother, and it's definitely a step in the right direction. Hopefully this was a positive interaction, and hopefully these visits will continue.
And this isn't a one-off incident. Stephanie has made a habit of using her kids in her personal conflicts. It's not just about lacking structure or providing unstable living conditions, it's about actively involving her children in manipulation. The heartbreaking part is that the kids likely don't see it. They think they're helping their mom, being part of the family's day-to-day life. But behind the scenes, Stephanie is using their innocence as both armor to protect herself from Backlash and as weapons to control the people she sees as threats, including Desiree. The jealousy Stephanie harbors toward Desiree is glaring at this point. When Desiree launched a GoFundMe to cover the legal costs of enforcing her visitation rights, the support came flooding in. What started as a modest $5,000 goal turned into over $14,000 raised in no time. And how did Stephanie react? Not with introspection, not with humility, but with pettiness. She began sending private messages questioning how Desiree was using the money, sarcastically pointing out that all she had sent Deshawn was a $25 gift card. The intent behind those words wasn't concern, it was bitterness. The GoFundMe wasn't meant to buy gifts, it was meant to fight for a legal right to see her child. And let's not forget, this criticism came from the same woman who used social media income to buy her partner a gaming chair while her own children still lacked proper beds. Then there's Drew, who continues to show just how disconnected from reality he is. Instead of seeking consistent work to support the family, he posted publicly about how slow gig work had been lately, and that he was ready to catch up on things he enjoys, like gaming and cooking. Yes, while living in a cramped motel room with 5 kids and sitting in the middle of a custody dispute, his backup plan was to game. This is a man who's openly admitted he doesn't want a real job because he doesn't like being told what to do. Meanwhile, Stephanie is scrambling for engagement, the kids are stuck fending for themselves, and CPS keeps an eye on their unstable situation.
This can't be real, right? Like, this has to be pure rage bait that they're posting, because what do you mean? 2 adults, 5 children, 7 people living in one room, 1 bedroom, in a motel. And you're not gonna go out and try to make some money? Gig work is slow, so get a real job. Like, what's the plan? I'm kind of bored with them at this point because, like, what is the plan? There is no plan. They're just gonna do this forever. What interests me most is actually how boring they are and how bad at this they are. So they go in between 2 cycles, which is rage bait, which is what they're doing right now, and then oversharing, where they give out really weirdly personal details that, like, I mean, we're nosy and we love, but, like, weird. But their actual content, like the actual videos they film, are terrible. They're just not good.
But nothing compares to what happened next. On the very day of one of Desiree's court-ordered visits, Drew texted her to say Deshawn wouldn't be coming. His excuse? Deshawn doesn't want to go. Just like that, everything Desiree had worked for, court filings, legal battles, emotional preparation, was ignored. This wasn't some informal arrangement. It was a legally mandated visitation, one with clear rules set by the judge. Deshawn was allowed to leave early if he wasn't comfortable, or stay longer if he wanted to, but not showing up at all was never an option. Both Stephanie and Drew were present in court. They heard the ruling. They knew the boundaries. And yet they chose to violate it, because to them, keeping control was more important than honoring the law or supporting Deshawn's well-being. It wasn't about what the child wanted. It was about what they didn't want, for Desiree to gain any ground, emotionally or legally. Desiree went live that day, her voice shaking, tears threatening to fall as she tried to explain what happened. She said over and over that this wasn't just about that one visit, it was about beginning the healing process, rebuilding what had been lost. But once again, Stephanie and Drew twisted the narrative, making it all about their authority, their discomfort, their need to micromanage everything around them. And the most disturbing part? Stephanie later admitted why she blocked the visit. It had nothing to do with Deshawn's mood. She said she didn't want her daughters asking questions about their own father, who's incarcerated. If Deshawn came back happy, talking about his mom, showing off the love and attention he received, it might lead to curiosity. Her daughters might start wondering why they don't get to have that kind of relationship with their own dad. Rather than use that as an opportunity to educate or explain, Stephanie chose the route of emotional suppression. In her mind, it's better for everyone to feel equally empty than for one child to feel seen, heard, or loved. And now, accountability is closing in. With the next court date set for the 17th, Desiree isn't walking in empty-handed. She has everything: text messages that show Drew disregarding court orders, screenshots of their communication, witness statements, even live stream clips. The pattern is undeniable, and the evidence is overwhelming. Once the judge reviews everything Desiree has collected, every text, live stream, screenshot, and piece of testimony, it's going to be nearly impossible for Drew and Stephanie to talk their way out of this. There's no denying the evidence anymore. No amount of playing the victim or twisting the truth is going to help them this time. The pressure is mounting fast, and it's clear they're running out of room to maneuver. It's also no coincidence that Stephanie's online influence is spiraling just as quickly. Her numbers are dropping, her audience is tuning out, and people have started actively reporting her content. Even her go-to-rage bait tactics, the exaggerated drama, the staged arguments, the victim narratives, are falling flat. Viewers have seen too much. The mask is off. Let's talk numbers. At one point, Stephanie had roughly 450 paid TikTok subscribers, each shelling out $5.39 a month. That alone brought in over $2,400 monthly. Add in monetized Facebook content, YouTube checks, TikTok gifts, and private subscriber videos, and she was clearing well over $4,000 a month. But where is that money going? Not into a home. Not into her kids' basic needs. Not into clothes, beds, or even toys. No, meanwhile, Drew's sitting comfortably with a new gaming setup. Her audience isn't blind. They're watching her make all the wrong choices over and over again. Even her most outrageous attempts to stir up drama, like faking a breakup with Drew to spark sympathy, aren't getting the traction they once did. People aren't buying it anymore. The narrative has worn thin. So, the question now is simple: are we witnessing the full collapse of the Jenkins carefully curated image? Or is there still more mess to come? Share your thoughts, hit that like button, and don't forget to subscribe, because something tells me this saga isn't finished yet.